Hi, I'm Leanne Ely. I'm a nutritionist, a New York Times best-selling author, and some people even say I'm a life coach. I started the Daily Dish Show to share my story, my truth, and my journey to vibrancy, and to inspire others to do the same. Because it's all about grit, perseverance, and finding a way despite the odds. It's about embracing the whole woman, not just the parts that are easy to love, and feeding her heart, mind, body, and soul. But I found that this isn't just my story, it's your story too. It's go time. This is the Daily Dish. We've been having such a great discussion lately. Have you just been excited about it and talking about being an overcomer? And yesterday it was interesting that Sarah had mentioned this Mandisa video called being an overcomer. Amber, I'm not gonna sing. And I had seen that before, and we had talked about it before, actually probably a year or so ago in the sprint. And I went and watched the video yesterday, and of course I just had all these tears. You know, you had pictures of people who had overcome some celebrities who had overcome adversity, who had overcome cancer, who had overcome, you had Gabby Gifford. What was her name? Gabby Giffords? Yeah, her husband just won Arizona Senate, who had been shot in the head and just overcoming things that were much bigger than themselves. And I started to think about this overcoming thing and how we get stuck in our heads. I know MJ says she cried. I did too, Marguerite. I was just, whoa, whoa, just all the way down. Elizabeth, we don't get Facebook notifications. I don't give them a whole lot of credence anymore because, sorry, Facebook, but, they have a tendency. It's sort of like data plans. They throttle you, I don't know why. This is how it is. It just poop. Anyway, so I started thinking about this whole notion of overcoming, and I thought about these people who are pillars, who have accomplished great things, Olympic athletes, politicians, people who have gone the extra mile and been able to overcome. But there's a common thread there. There was fear, there was doubt, there was a lot of just absolutely putting yourself into the place of just like, am I up to the task? And we all do that. So to kind of circle the wagons a little bit though and get to the place of being an overcomer and becoming and rising to that occasion, we have to look at what it means to overcome. And I always start at the dictionary because that's always a great starting place. And the dictionary says to succeed in dealing with a difficulty or a problem, or to defeat an opponent, conquer and control your outcome. I love that. Conquer and control your outcome. I love that so much. Because the base of being an overcomer is to go beyond the fear. It's to go beyond the doubt. And we talk about that a lot because, you have to do that. But, it's another thing to just stand up to it, to look fear in the eyes and say, get out of the way, I'm going through, Think about it in the Bible too. Think about all these people that had to do these impossible, insurmountable tasks. I mean, Moses had to go across it. He was looking at the Red Sea. How's that ever going to work? He had to go through it. He had to go through it. He had to part it with his faith, right? And God's power, of course, and walk through it. There has been many a thing. We can look throughout history and all kinds of heroes who have overcome and gone beyond what the odds are. And yet we get all wrapped up in, oh, it's so hard, I'm on the struggle bus. And I want to talk about this because if we're going to be an overcomer, and if we are going to rise to that occasion, then we need to break down what overcoming means. And we need to break down and decide that this is what I want. This is what I want. I want to overcome this. I have to look fear in the face. And one of the things that I have noticed, I've shared this with you so many times before, that when we make this decision. When we make a decision that we're going to overcome something, and we make a decision that we are going to look fear in the face, and we make a decision that we are going to become those people, that's when things start to change and shift. And the task and the thing that we're trying to overcome actually becomes smaller than we thought. Because in our mind's eye, we've blown it up into these big, huge proportions and think to ourselves that it's beyond what we can do. It's too much, it's this, it's that, and that's where our focus goes, instead of focusing, looking at that enemy of ours, the thing that needs overcoming, in the eye and say, you don't stand a chance against me because I'm an overcomer. I want you to think about what that is. Staring something down. Have you ever done that in your life? Stared something down and just say, oh no, that's not going to happen. Not on my watch. Oh no, I'm not going to allow this to happen. And that's where it is that we need to go. We have to think about the but what if and start thinking about the what if. In other words, but what if I fail? But what if everybody laughs at me? But what if I do this? How about instead saying, what if I stood up to this fear of mine and did it anyway? And watch it go down. Watch it shrink. Watch it get small. Watch it get sizable. This is something that you can put a fork in and dig into it. Okay? I want you to think in those terms, because the fear of it is the thing that's bigger than what it actually is. That's how we overcome things. That's how we become, like Mandisa sang in that song, an overcomer. We can't be an overcomer if we think it's too big. It's not. It's just simply, in our mind's eye, something that we've worked ourselves into a lather over, when actually, if we confront it and look it in the eye, it'll shrink before our eyes. It has a tendency to do that. This is what fear does. Because when we walk into a room and we shine the light on the thing that scares us, we find out there's nobody living under our beds. There's no boogeyman. There's nothing hiding in the closet. It was all a part of what we thought could be. So instead of saying, what if I look stupid? What if everybody says, well, there you go again? Or what if, how about, what if I nail this? What if I just show everybody what this is about? What if I step into my power? What if I say, I've got this? How much bigger are you going to be? How much are you going to notice yourself growing into the place of what it is that you want? I believe with all of my heart, we all have that within us. It's a matter of tapping in. And we've talked about this before, and how what we focus on expands. So if we're working ourselves into this whole thing of fear, and we're focused on the fear, that's what we're going to get back. We've got to focus on the solution. We've got to focus on our strengths. We got to focus on the fact that yes, we are overcomers, and we have to step into our overcoming role. That's it. Because if we shrink back, we become small. If we step up, we become big. Do you see that? When we step up, you think about little kids, they can't reach the sink. We give them a little step stool to get up so that they can go to the sink. It's the same thing for us. We need that little step stool. It causes us to take an action so that we can step up to what we want in our lives. So when you're willing to step up, you're willing to take on the fear and the doubt. Think about that for a second. When you are unwilling to step into the ring of fear and doubt, you're unwilling to look for the possibilities of becoming an overcomer. You've got to step into the ring. You can't pretend fear doesn't exist. It exists. We all have it on some level or another. But fear has a tendency, fear is a big coward. It really is. Fear is just this thing. It's like, ooh, I'm a big boogeyman. You turn on the light. It's not there. It's just a stupid shadow. It's your past. It's your, things that didn't work out before in the past, but it doesn't have to stop you. Turn the light on. Flip the switch. Do whatever it is that you need to do. Let fear stop winning in your life. Let the doubt stop winning. You can do that at any point, because it's a mistake to just buckle on to fear. It's a big mistake. It leaves a vibrant life on the table. It says your vibrant life is not a possibility. That's what fear does. And it keeps the overcoming way, way, way in the distance. If we're going to be overcomers, like we watched in that video, and when I watch that video and I see, and I can't even, I can't name off all those people by name, but you knew who they were and you know what they went through. This one had cancer. This one was shot in the head, but they overcame. They didn't stop. They didn't quit on themselves. And we can't overcome if we quit. It's just that simple. We have to look at this as, what is this anyway? This whole fear and this doubt and all of that. It's basically an avoidance tactic to avoid stepping into the life that you want. We can't have vibrancy if we're living in fear. We can't have vibrancy if we say, yeah, but, and grab that cloak of fear and wrap ourselves around with it. It doesn't do anything to protect us. It just keeps us small. It causes us to lose a voice in our lives. It says we're not worthy, and that's just patently not true. That's a lie. You have a say-so in your life. You have a voice in your life if you choose to use it. We have an amygdala that's part of our brain that wants us to not have risk, not have anything going on, just be quiet, just shrink back, and just be a part of the background. And when we make that decision to allow that, we're making a decision to allow ourselves to take the back seat of our own lives, our own lives. No voice, no power, no nothing. Everybody else is calling the shots. Everybody else is making the decisions and making the choices. We don't have to do that. If we're going to become overcomers, then we're going to have to face the fear. And here's how we're going to do this. So I got 5 things for you, and I want you to write them down or at least get our show notes. And you can get our show notes simply by getting on our email list at savingdinner.com. But the show notes are going to have all of this stuff in it, okay? First thing you have to do is raise the bar in your life. Stop playing safe. When we play safe, we're saying we're unwilling. I'm not talking about jumping out of airplanes or scuba diving or doing things that are harmful or scary. I got new health insurance, and I had to talk to the health insurance people, and they say, do you jump out of airplanes or rock climb, or asking me all these things, like risky things. I don't do any of that. But you know what I do? I am willing to stand and go into the ring and look fear in the eye. I don't need to jump out of an airplane to prove that. I've got enough fear in myself. I've got enough things that need to be overcome that I can do it that way. Thank you very much. You can't be a part of a rising tide if you're unwilling to pull up the anchor. We talked about anchors yesterday. You got to pull up the anchor or the boat's not going to sail with everyone else. Are you ready? Are you ready to pull up the anchor and be a part of the rising tide? Or do you just want to be anchored onto the dock and never get out into sea to see what it's all about? Your life can be an adventure when you decide it is. But you've got to raise the bar on the standards of what it is that you want. And you can't play it safe. Sorry, it's just the way it is. But know this. You're a part of a community, and that's number 2, is improve your community. If you're around a bunch of naysayers, replace them with some cheerleaders. Naysayers don't do anything. What do? No, you shouldn't be doing this. The inner nutritionists come out. Oh, you shouldn't be fasting. No, you're going to waste your muscle. Oh, you're trying another diet. That's not going to work. Aren't you counting your calories? Aren't you doing this? Aren't you doing that? Those people need to go. Shut up is a good word. Sorry. Zip it. Stop it. No, no worries. I'm working with a nutritionist, but thanks for your help. Thanks for your assumed help. But I've got this. Thank you. Walk away. If you have a voice in your life, you have the ability to say that. If you have a voice in your life, you know where those naysayers need to go, and you know where to go and get your cheerleaders. We all need to do this. Our cheerleaders are our community. Our community is the rising tide. This is how we live that vibrant life that we all seek. Heart, mind, body, and soul. Is that what you want? That's what I want. I can't do it if I've got somebody whispering in my ear and telling me I can't do it. I've got enough of that whole negativity in my head that I work on a daily basis to dump. So your community needs to be filled with people who are on the same level doing the same thing that you're doing. It has to be. This is how we do it. We do it together. Football games are won by teams, not by one single thing. Yeah, you might have a hero's throw and get the touchdown, the winning pass or whatever it is, but it was a team that did this whole thing. That's the whole thing. It was the team. If you have people talking to you and saying, rubbing your history in your face, oh, you're on another diet, condescending, putting you down, saying, oh, here we go again. That's a naysayer. And you need to have a voice in that. And I don't care if it's your husband. I don't care if it's, your neighbor down the street, but you need to stand up for yourself and just say, yeah, I know. You know what? I have failed before in the past. Haven't we all? Welcome to the human race. But I'm going to tell you right now, I'm in this. Are you going to support me on it? Are you? Are you going to be my cheerleader? Or are you going to be my naysayer? And I double dog dare you to do this. I double dog dare you to do this with whomever needs to hear it. But don't allow the naysayers in. Done. Out. Go. It's over. Push back. You've got this. Use your voice. Use your voice. And I'm not talking about the inside voice either. I'm talking about the loud, I stand up for myself voice. No, you're not going to push me over. No, your negativity is not going to be a part of it. No, I'm not going to go to your place of amateur nutritionist. No, you're not going to tell me no. You're not going to tell me I can't do it. You're not going to do that to me anymore because I'm standing up for myself. That's what overcomers do. That's what an overcomer does. Yes, pinkies up, Susan, indeed. And I want to take you to number 3, which is don't wish, do. Don't we do this a lot? Oh, I'm wishing. I wish it wasn't so hard. I wish it didn't take so long. Well, it's easier for her. She only has 50 pounds to lose. I have 100. Well, you know what? Here's the thing. Wishing won't change the facts. The facts are what the facts are, Hey, in Mandisa's Overcomer video, you've got the people who say, here's I've got, who was the ice skater? I can't remember his name, but prostate cancer, okay? He's got prostate cancer, stage 4 or something. I mean, it's just like really sincere. He didn't allow it to stand in his way. I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to go get my treatments. I'm going to do everything. I'm going to get back on the ice. And he's going to fall over and over and over again. The facts are he was weaker. The facts are he's fighting cancer. But the fact remains that he cannot start anywhere except where he is. He can't wish away cancer. You can't wish away 100 pounds and say, I wish it was 50, or I wish it was 10, or I wish I had her body and not mine, or I wish I didn't have diabetes, or we all wish for something. But where you are is where you are. Those are the facts. Deal with it and start. Stop wishing. Stop putting your energy on that. If we put our energy on the solution and say, this is where I am and this is where I'm going, then that GPS is set, sister. Your vision is on the horizon. Your vibrancy is at stake. Because when we stop wishing and we start doing, things start to change. But it's again, we're going back into freedom. Freedom. Scout Hamilton, that's his name. Freedom begins between your ears. It's what you think about. And wishing shouldn't be in the vocabulary. Unless I wish you the best of holidays. I wish you the best birthday ever. Use it for other, we don't have wishbones. We don't have magic apples. We don't have, oh, I wish upon a star. We don't have that. What we do have is our own tenacity. And dig, sister, it's in you. Use it, find it, and surround yourself with your cheerleaders because they're out there. They're just waiting to take you along. And number 4 is stop acting like Eeyore. You don't have a little dark cloud over your head following you wherever you go. It's not all negativity and horribleness. It's not. That dark cloud is a drag. And you know what? Everybody around you is like, oh, here she comes. Complaining shrinks your brain. I've told you this before. It's a scientific fact. Look it up. And if you live in the place of complaining, that's your focus. And if you live in the place of dark clouds and bringing all of these things in and making the decision that it's all about the negativity, then that is exactly what you're going to get back. Because boom, it's going to come flying back to you. You have so much more to do than that. You don't want to be like Eeyore. You want to be like Tigger, boing, boing, everything's great, as much as possible. Because the negativity, I'm telling you, the negativity and the hard stuff and the this, that, and the other thing, it's always going to be there. But there's always a bright cloud out there. There's always the ability to look at the bright side of things, and of course there's, I'm oversimplifying, I know. But if we move toward the light and we start saying, you know what? So what if it didn't work before? It's going to work this time. I'm going to put everything I have on it and make it work. I'm going to move that needle in my life. That's where your focus needs to be. Where your focus goes, your energy goes. We know that. So let's get out of that habit of landing all that stuff and putting it all on this darkness, this little tiny dark cloud. And think about it, when you look at the picture in Winnie the Pooh, Eeyore's the only one with the dark cloud over his head. He's the only one, And his voice is everything about him is a downer. He made that decision, but you don't have to. And you don't have to have the cloud over your head. You can say, you know what? This might be a momentary moment, but I am looking forward. And I'm going to break away from this and go forward into what it is that I want. If you decide now is the time and you make that choice, then it is. That's it. You're breaking up, as it were, with all this negativity. You're breaking up because you've decided that the freedom you want is more important than the stuff that's trying to hold you back. The Chinese handcuffs we talked about yesterday. So number 5 is feelings are momentary. You know that. We have an idea, we get a couple of feelings and some emotion about it, and then if we decide to allow those emotions and those feelings to run the show, we've given up our power entirely. Because emotions and feelings are momentary. They are fleeting. That's not who we are. It's just something we're feeling in our body. It's like stubbing your toe. Is your toe going to hurt for the rest of your life? No, it's a momentary feeling. That's what our feelings are about. So if we're making decisions for ourselves, let's start making our decisions for how we want our lives to go. Not this momentary feeling, I can't do it, it's so sad. Don't let your feelings determine your destiny. Let you and your plans and your good work and the people around you and your goals and the vision for yourself and the vibrancy that you want and your heart's desires and the voice in your life, let those make this decision, not this momentary feeling. Put it into place. You know, we all have them. And sometimes it can be overwhelming. But it's momentary. Have you noticed that? Even if you cry, you know, the Bible says, weeping may endure for a night, but joy cometh in the morning. That's in Psalms. What a beautiful thing. We all get overwhelmed. We all get overwrought. But it doesn't have to run our lives, right? You get that, right? Don't allow it to run your life. Just think, you know what? Even in the midst of it, I'm telling you, let this little seed germinate. This is how I feel right now, and it's okay. But it doesn't have to run my life. I always want to say this too, because this is painful and it's going to hurt. But hear me. Excuses can be wrapped up in a bunch of feelings. Excuses can be wrapped up in a bunch of feelings. We take the excuses, we wrap them with all these feelings, and then it's just like, well, there it is right there. And that's our determination. But what we need to do is we need to understand that the feelings that we have are the feelings that we have, and they will pass. And that is not an excuse to opt out from the vibrant life that you want. They're momentary, they're fleeting, and they're completely unreliable too, by the way. Feelings are unreliable. When it comes to creating the vibrant life you want, you have to look at the concrete things that you can do and what you want. Simple. So, what are you going to do? 1, you're going to run your own life. You're going to run your own life the way you want it. You're going to pursue it instead of prevent it. Because when you pursue it, you're seeing there's obstacles in the way. Jump off, jump over, go around, whatever it is. There's feelings there. They come up. But is that going to stop you? No. Don't allow yourself to get in the way of preventing you from having the life you want. Deal? Pinkies up? Number 2, line up your support. And when I say line up your support, get your cheerleaders in place. Have you ever noticed when you're watching a football game or or basketball or whatever, they've got cheerleaders there. They don't have naysayers. They don't have people on the floor there with pom-poms in their hand going, yeah, you can't do it. No. They're like, yeah, go team, go. Yes, you can do it. Kick it off. Yes. Touchdown, all the time. I was a cheerleader in high school. I shook pom-poms. I danced around. I screamed for our team. Because they're there for bringing everybody along and to lift that tide up. Enthusiasm, feeling good is all what it's about. We need to feel good. There's nothing wrong with feeling good. Feeling good it should be our go-to, We have it inside. Pick it out. Decide. Number 3, just stop and think about what you're focusing on. If you're focusing on the negativity, it's not going to do a thing for you. If you're focusing on the naysayers and what they're saying that you can't do it, it's not going to help you. If you're focusing on all the what ifs, but I can't, and all that others, it's not going to do a thing for you. It's going to paralyze your decision to go forward in your life. So think about what it is that you're focusing on, and give your focus to the cheerleaders in your life. Give your focus to the things that you know that you can do. Give your focus to the solution, not the problem. And make that decision right now today, that you're not going to be bound up with all this negativity. What we focus on expands. That's right. What we do focus on expands. Keep that in mind. Number 4, perfect is on the other side of glory. You knew I was going to say that, right? But excellence is a path. Excellence is something attainable. Excellence just means that you're on a path going forward, and that every day it gets a little bit better. Every day it gets a little bit, dare I say, easier. We have that. We have that path in front of us. It's just a matter of making a decision to take one step, and then the next, and then the next. You just have to get after it. You have to make a decision that I'm going to get after that excellence. I'm not going to allow this whole perfectionism thing. When I see that, I need to know and understand where that came from and what that's about. Perfectionism is paralyzing. And perfectionism is fear and doubt and everything else and all the things wrapped in it. Perfectionism is big and ugly. And it has no place for us here. Perfect doesn't live here. Perfect is on the other side of glory. Don't ever forget that. Don't let perfectionism hold you back another day. And number 5, if you can overcome anything, you have to be willing to do the work. You willing? Are you willing to do the work? Are you willing to step into what the possibilities are for your life? Who here wants a vibrant life? Who here wants to just stop with the excuses? Who here wants to live the life on their own terms? Not on what you think everybody wants for you, but what you want. You want a voice in your life? Then use it. You want to step into your vibrancy? Then start walking, sister. You want to leave the excuses behind? Then make that decision. It's all on you. And I'm going to tell you right now, you're here on purpose by God's design and by His grace. And He put you in this place with everything you need inside of you. He hasn't left you ill-equipped. He hasn't left you with nothing. You have a brain, you have a heart, you have a community, and you have so many people who will love you and standing right behind you going, yes, you can. I believe in you with all of my heart, or I wouldn't be showing up here every single day. I believe in you. And I'm here for you, and I'm holding this space for you if you don't see it for yourself. But know that as you make one step, you can make another, and you can make another, and you can overcome anything, anything. I believe that with all my heart. God doesn't make junk. He makes beautiful, wise women, strong, wise women, women who have voices in their own life. That's you. I am so grateful for you and so appreciative of you. Thank you so much to all of you who support Saving Dinner and buy our supplements and come to our webinars and all of it. You're everything. And I mean that with all of my heart. And every single day I have an opportunity to pray for everyone who places an order with us, write a note to you and say thank you. Because I do not take it for granted. Not for a minute. Let's rise up. We have the power to do this. And my expectation of you is that we're going to do it together. How about that? Next Monday? Are we on? Pinkies up. Let's crush this sprint like nobody's business. I'm on it. Let's do it. Peace be with you. I'll see you. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Thank you for joining me today. You can find me on TikTok for daily tips to help support your most vibrant life. And remember, you are the author of your own story. Until next time.